Everybody, welcome back into another edition of the Coach Ernie Willingham Show here, keeping up with Collinsville Panther athletics. And Coach, we're at that time of year where the leaves are starting to fall a little bit, the grass is starting to die out on the field, and that backdrop you have in your stadium gets even more beautiful when them leaves start changing on that mountainside over there. But we like to refer to this time of year as football time. I think you can agree with that, Coach. But last week it was good for you guys to get back out there and compete like you did. Had a shutout victory, 54-0 over Ider and Coach Grant and company. Take us back to last Friday and how you guys executed early and often and got a big victory last week.
We did. Our defense played really good. Obviously, a shutout victory. Their defense played good the whole game, but we kicked off to them and held them, and we ran the first punt back. And then we held them again and ran the second punt back. So we're ahead.
Serious?
And they blocked the next point, or no, we missed the first next point. So. We were ahead 13-0 before the offense ever went on in the field. And,
it's unbelievable.
And then my little running back did a good job, and he ran it. That's the second game, not in a row because we played 5 in between. But 2 out of the last 3 games, he ran it 7 times and scored 4 touchdowns.
That's legit.
In the first quarter, and we didn't run him after the first quarter. And some of our stats, our passing game, we only threw it 3 times. And 2 of them were on zone reads. We only called 1 pass, and it was a hitch.
Gotcha.
So we ran the ball and ran the clock, and
Coach, when you're already a young team, but when you got guys, you probably had 8th graders, 7th graders out there taking meaningful snaps the whole second half, I imagine.
Oh, we were ahead 47-0 when I put my junior high in. My junior high played every bit of the third and fourth quarter except the very first drive. We had some change-out guys still in there then, but my junior high, 7th and 8th graders, and a few of the younger 9th graders that don't start on the varsity, I played the rest of the game, and we won 7-0 with them. The happiest I was the whole game. With 2 minutes left, they still had a few starters. They had some starters in there, but their starting quarterback was in. He threw it to their best receiver. They got down inside the 5. Had first and goal on the 5 with about 2 minutes, and my little guys had a goal line stand.
Man,
that was great for them. That's invaluable.
Reps.
Invaluable reps that they got.
Confidence.
And a confidence booster for those kids, and it'll pay off down the road.
Coach, you've been doing this a long time. What do you want to see out of those guys? Just for kids that may be watching this video, when those guys go there, obviously you want to see them compete. You don't want to see any fear in them, but what are you looking for from a head coach when those young guys do get these reps?
They can't mess it up. You've got things going good, and they can't go in and jump off sides, for example.
Play smart.
Yeah, they can't snap the ball over the quarterback's head, and
right.
And they have to compete. They have to compete out there and get after everybody on defense, and as long as it looks like real football and that kind of stuff, we're good. But they're excited to play. They practice just like they practice the same number of minutes as the starters, and I get them in there when I can.
Yeah, it's invaluable to get those reps. But here's the deal. Your team's so young, your guys are what most schools use is the young guys getting reps.
Well, they get some reps, but now I'm playing 7 seniors. I got one guy just kicks.
Gotcha.
But I've got 6 other seniors. I'm playing 6 guys.
That's good.
That are seniors.
That's
good. I've got some kids to replace, and I've got some young kids. My junior high is doing good. We've got one more junior high game. We play Crossville next week. Will be our 8th game, and we've lost 1.
You've lost 1.
5 beat us. We were undefeated. We were 6-0, and we played 5 night before last. Played 5 night before last, and 5's got a really good junior high team, and they beat us. My running back, my junior high running back, who plays a little bit on the varsity but not a lot, he broke his hand and had surgery actually Monday. Also, he had surgery Monday morning, so he didn't play. It would have made a little bit of difference, but probably not enough to have beat him.
But that holds volumes because the core of your team's underclassmen. And then you got a junior high team that's only got 1 loss. That's pretty bright future around here.
We play that youth card pretty good.
Yeah.
And I have got my quarterback's in 9th grade, but they started for 2 years. Mason McAteer does a good job. Gavin Lang, Kyler Bean, Jeremiah Keegan, those kids, they are 9th graders. But now my whole line is 11th graders now.
Gotcha.
I've got the whole starting line, and then I've got a senior that backs up, and I got a 10th grader starting now. We starting a 10th grader a couple of weeks ago, so I've got 4 11th graders and a 10th grader starting on the offensive line, and so we're not as young as we kind of let on to be sometimes.
Well, Coach, you hey, look, at least you get juice out of those guys another full season after this one, though, so that's a positive. That's a good thing for sure. But man, that's definitely gonna help you in the future. Now, you guys, even this season, if I'm not mistaken, have outscored your opponents 265 to 124 or something like that. Something in that ballpark I was looking at, which is pretty dominant. Outside of the Fife game and the Pisgah game, it's been pure dominance from your bunch. What is it that you're looking for at this point of the season from your guys? Something playoff time is right around the corner. You guys are going to work your way into a region game. Looks like you're probably going to travel that first round. But what are you looking for your guys specifically heading down this home stretch?
Well, we got to continue to get better, and we have got some young guys, like you said, and even those 11th graders. There's plenty of things to improve on, and we got to get better every single week. And we play Whitesburg this week, and we had to kick a field goal with 8 seconds left in the game to beat them last year.
Really?
At their place. I
remember that.
They scored to go ahead.
I remember that.
They scored to go ahead 42 to 41 maybe, or 42 to 41. They went ahead 42 to 41 with 45 seconds left and kicked off to us. They squibbed the kick, and we picked it up and ran it back to about the 40. And on the first
40
down,
about to score?
the other 40.
The other 40, okay.
On our 40.
Okay.
And we ran a crossing route. We ran Keaton. We cleared out and ran Keaton on a crossing route and hit him. He ran it down inside the 10. And we wound up kicking a field goal. We kicked the field goal to win. So
that's a pressure. I do remember that game now. I remember seeing that in the highlights of that game. What have you seen from this Whitesboro Christian team this year on film?
They got the quarterback back. Now, they're 0-7.
Yeah,
that's so not them. I mean, they're better than that. They got the guy that they were playing at quarterback. The number 4 is not a little guy. He's about 6'2", looks like. But he played quarterback while the other quarterback's been hurt all year.
Gotcha.
And he's just been back a couple of games, and they're a lot better with him because he's a good player. And the boy that was playing at quarterback is a really good receiver.
Gotcha.
They played North Sand Mountain, who we play next week after this one, but and it's us and North Sand Mountain for 3rd and 4th.
Gotcha.
This game really doesn't have any bearing on the playoffs.
Right.
But obviously we want to win because it's every game. But it was 21-14 at halftime. North Sand Mountain was ahead, and then Whitesburg scored first in the second half. So it was 21-20 in the middle of the 3rd quarter, and North Sand Mountain's got a good team. So they're obviously a lot. Solid. Yeah, they've been playing without some starters and their quarterback, and they're a lot better. And we can't. And we've tried to impress upon our kids. This is Wednesday, so we've had them Monday, Tuesday practice already, and we've showed them film and impressed on them. They're better. They're better than that record. A lot better than that record.
Here's another thing. They probably got y'all circled because of the way they lost last year.
Oh yeah, they think they won. They think the field goal was no good.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, their coach every time I tell him, I said that was right down the middle. and he says he don't think it was funny as you do. He don't think that's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
He don't think that's funny a bit.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Whether he thinks it's good or not, once it goes into the ASHA,
it was his place. It was his officials called it good. I mean, whatever. He needs to fire his officials if he don't like it.
That's right. And once it goes through those once it goes on paper in at ASHA, that's it.
It was good anyway. I don't know what he's talking about. It wasn't right down the middle, but it was good.
I love it. Coach, anything else this week or anything outside that you need to tell the folks what's going on here in Collinsville?
No, we play at home this week. We play at home next week. We got 2 more home games. And we've had great crowds this year. Come out and watch us play, and should be 2 really competitive games. I'm expecting 2 competitive games, and this week we want to win this week, and the next week is for 3rd and 4th, and the 3rd and 4th place game is a big game because of that other region down there. Locust Fork is just killing everybody, man. And Southeastern plays Pleasant Valley this week to see who's 1 and 2, no 2 and 3, and if we lose to North Sand Mountain, we have to go to the Locust Fork And that's not a very good place to play. I mean, it's a great place to play. They're good people, but they're really good. They're a lot better. They beat all these other guys. You know, like, for example, they beat Southeastern last week 49-0 or 7 or something. And Southeastern is likely to beat Pleasant Valley what they said. I don't know. I hadn't really seen that much of Southeastern. That's just what somebody told me.
From what I've seen, and just mentioning what you talked about, Locust Fort's on a historical run, point scoring wise. They're averaging 55, I don't know, something like that. But they're not giving up much either. And then, as you mentioned, Southeastern right there, but you played Pleasant Valley, so you know.
We played them in the Jamboree, and they're big and strong and physical.
I don't know if they got someone injured because they've been.
They've lost the last 3 games, and I saw the same thing. They were 4-0.
I wonder if they got.
They were 4, or maybe 5. They were 4. No, 4-0 because we played them.
They were 4-0 at one point.
They were 4-0. And then they've lost the last 3 games by, they've got beat pretty good. And I really don't know if they've got anybody hurt or not because I'm not keeping up with that much. But
I need to talk to Coach Nix and see because we went out there. I went out there the day he was playing Raglan. We shot some pictures for his pregame, and he was in high spirits about that game. And then they got beat bad. And I was like, God forbid, I hate when anybody gets injured, but sometimes you see it. I mean, it happens in football, obviously.
I think Raglan's got a pretty good team, too, though.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I hadn't seen anything about them. Obviously, we're 2A and they're 1A, but
pretty tough. Yeah, they're 1.
Yeah, they dropped that one.
Because they're in there.
This is a non-region.
They're in there with Wadley, Spring Garden. Yeah. So it'd be interesting, Coach. But, yeah, like you said, in order to win a blue map, you're going to have to beat them all eventually. But you wouldn't want to get out of the gate playing Locust Fort at Locust Fort right out of the gate.
Ain't got to be somebody good enough. And those other guys are good. Obviously, it's not a gimme. We can't go down there and roll our hat out if we play any of those guys. Right. But, you want a good draw if you can get it.
That's right.
Because you don't always play at your best. Maybe we could play with Locust Fork on a good day, and we'll see.
Coach, I can tell you this: outside of your region, you play in this region right here, you can play with anybody. I mean, there's some guys in this region there.
If anybody's better than Pisgah and Fife, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
and we actually the score didn't look like we played with them. We played with those guys. I mean, they weren't hurting us. They weren't beating us up.
I was at one of those games.
Yeah, and you're talking about me playing subs against them. They didn't play a lot of subs. Benefield played some in the second half, but no, they weren't beating us up. We're moving the ball, so that's what you kind of look at when people pull and that kind of thing. But
it helps. Them losses like that's going to help in the long run. I'm telling you, you ain't going to face nobody. I'm not going to say in the South, but up here in the North, you ain't going to face nobody better than them two. The Locust Fort's good.
They're pretty good. Those guys are pretty good.
They're pretty good, but I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it translate into the game against one of those 2 teams for me to deem them that kind of level good.
You're right. It's good football.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Coach, we're going to shut this one down. We want to thank Arnold Heating and Cooling as always. It's that time of year where this today exactly. I mean, it was 39 degrees this morning, and then this evening it's right in the high 70s, low 80s. So you want to make sure that heating and cooling in your house is good. You want to reach out to T-Fur, the legend, and he'll take care of you. It's Arnold Heating and Cooling. You can Google it, and you can also look it up. It'll be tagged on this video. So you guys, the information will be on there as well. We want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back here next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.